Hi, I'm Pat Morris, your host for the PM Talk Show. Our telecast is made possible by these fine underwriters, and we thank them very much.
Locally owned and operated by Drs. Wheat and Boobridge, the Animal Care Center in Hammond and Pet Care Center in Ponchatoula have 6 vets on staff with nearly a century of combined experience. Celebrating our 30th birthday in May, the Animal Care Center has offered a full line of veterinary services, which includes medicine, surgery, grooming, boarding, and 7 days a week emergency services. Our mission is to provide the highest quality of veterinary care in a professional, compassionate manner. The Animal Care Center and Pet Care Center, a commitment to excellence with love and care for your pet.
Hello again, and welcome to the PM Talk Show. This is Pat Marsh, your host. We want to thank you for joining us again today, and as always, we want to bring something to the viewing audience that's informative, that will be helpful to the community as a whole. Today we have with us Mr. Dennis Darouse. He's the director for our 911 system in Tangipahao Parish, and they have a new program called Smart 11, and we want to let you know how it operates, how to go about becoming a member of that, and it's free. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How about you, Pat?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Your theme says, be smart about safety, but before we get into the safety part, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been in the emergency response field, I feel like most of my life. I started off in the Natal Benny Volunteer Fire Department when I was 16, and then I moved to Hammond Fire, and I eventually was honored enough to retire from there. And then I was fortunate enough to get the position of Director of 911 for Tangipahao Parish.
Okay, well that's good. So you come with a lot of experience. I know you're saying no one plans to call 911, and we really don't, but it's good to know that you can plan ahead now. So if you can explain that process to us, that would help us out a lot.
Well, first of all, Pat, if I may, I'd like to go into just regular 911. Because be surprised how many people don't even know how 911 operates. It's a system where it's a 3-digit number that's available anywhere in the U.S. Anywhere you go, you can dial 911 for help. What's good about that is in our parish, and if I may, we also serve St. Helena Parish. Okay. So we're a little bit different that we take all 911 calls for 2 parishes at our one center. Okay. A lot of people kind of think about the way that 911 operates, but if I was to go to Kentwood, I would not, and needed a fire or the police department there. In the old days, so to speak, you could dial operator, of course, and they could put you in touch with that fire or that police where you were at. Nowadays, you dial operator, you might be talking to somebody in California or New York or somewhere. You're not going to talk to anybody local back in what I call the old days. So if I was in Kentwood right now, for example, living up in Hammond all my life, I would not know their police department's phone number. So if I called for help, I wouldn't know the number to call, needed help. So nowadays, you dial 911 wherever you're at, and they can route your call to the appropriate law or ambulance or fire service that's needed. Now, going back still is when most everybody had a landline at one time. Well, if you dial 911 from a landline, we pretty much knew where you were calling from. We knew who on the phone, knew your address, your phone number, and what department to send to you. So that would mean, say, for example, if we got a hang-up, what we call a hang-up call, and we couldn't get back in touch with you, we could send the police to your house to check on you. And that's our protocol now. Now, as we also know, technology is great, and technology has brought us a long way. And for some of us old-timers, technology is still a little bit scary as well. But now we find that most people, a lot of people are thinking, I have a cell phone now. Why do I need to pay that 20, 30, whatever dollars a month for my landline phone? I'll just use my cell phone. Well, when you think about just the pure dollars and cents, it's probably a smart move. when you think about safety and a response to you, which again, a lot of people don't think about until they need it. Right. Emergency services are about like insurance sometimes. You don't know, what you're going to need till you need it. Right. So most people now have done away, a lot of people that have gotten away from their landline phones thinks that technology is so good, 911 can find you on any device. We can't. We can't. We can't guarantee it. I used to use two examples. One was we had a call from a lady in Hammond at one time, and on a landline phone. We heard her groaning on the phone. We were able to send everybody, the fire, police, and ambulance there. They got there. She was in respiratory distress, and they were able to save the lady. We also took a call one time from a cell phone. The gentleman was laid on the ground. You could hear him groaning and moaning and trying to talk. Well, 2 days later, I went to my cousin's funeral. He had had a heart attack. We didn't know where he was. He lived right across the street from the sheriff's substation there in Hammond, Club Deluxe Road. So, and down the street from Acadian and next to North Oaks. So, but he actually passed away because we did not know where he was. So that's one of the things we actually went out with a know your location public ed at one time. Know where you're at all times. So if you're on the interstate, if you're traveling even down the road to your house, the people in Pumpkin Center, for example, can tell me that I turned left at the Rock. Well, everybody in that area knows what that means, you see. But at least you know about where your location is. And we're all guilty, and I'll put myself at the top of the list at times, of not paying attention to where I am, and because I drive from Hammond to Amite to Hammond every day. But I've actually started making myself pay more attention to where I'm at. Because the main thing about 911 is we're there to help you. We want to help you. We want to get the proper response to you. But if you don't know where you're at, we don't know where you're at, and then it's going to be hard to send the help to you.
Right. So Smart 11, it sounds like you're saying that this is an idea that you've come up with, or is this something nationwide that's being done?
This is a nationwide product that's being sold to 911 centers from Rave Mobility Corporation, sometimes through AT&T. It is not in every jurisdiction. We're only the 4th parish in Louisiana to pick this up. You have Calcasieu, Lafourche, Terrebonne, and ourselves now. So now the entire state, from what I understand, the entire state of Arkansas has it. So Smart 911 really kind of helps us help you in the fact that you go to a secured website, you fill out all the information that you can and answer all the questions. And I don't really like to ask people to do it. I'd prefer to beg them to do it. It is a secured website. Everything they can put medical-wise about their pets, their vehicles, the people in their house. You can put the pictures of your children. For example, if, and of course a lot of these examples are heaven forbid, your child is missing, it gets abducted. Instead of, I've had some police officers say that it takes anywhere from possibly 30 to 45 minutes to get photos out to the units in the field under the process now, and hopefully it's the most updated photo. Well, with Smart 911, as soon as we give that department a code, they can go right into Smart 911 and pull up pictures. Everybody in that agency, every fireman, every policeman, and the people working the EMS aspect.
So you're talking a matter of seconds as opposed to minutes.
You're talking a matter of probably like 2 to 3 minutes instead of 30 to 45 minutes. Okay. You know, I'd hate to say seconds, but it's no time in comparison to get not only the picture, but you also have the people's medical information, what type of car they may be in. The whole, there's just a tremendous amount of help for the responders that you can put in the system.
Okay. When you talk about a service, somebody might think it's very, very expensive. What is it going to cost me?
Well, I'm here today to sell everybody on Smart 911 for free. That's why I say we love giving this sales pitch because it is free. It's the 911 board went and saw how the system was approached by Raise Mobility, and we actually went to other centers that had it, and they were so impressed with the type of help that this could give to our citizens that they actually picked up the fee. It's free to the citizens on the street who are our customers, and it's free to the responders that get the information, who are also our customers. Again, we like to say it's a very secured website. It's a lot of people I know nowadays, Pat, are thinking, well, here we go, we're going to put more information on a computer that, like my credit card information, can get hacked and all. These are extremely secured servers. Nowadays, I find a lot of people put their kids' pictures on Facebook. If you've ever been to the doctor, it's on a computer. If you've ever been to the pharmacy, it's on a computer. So if you're worried about putting information in a computer, it's already there if somebody wants to try to get it, is what I'm getting at. We beg you to do it and fill it all out simply because, I don't know, Pat, if you've ever been around, but an elderly person passes out or something like that at the house and needs help.
That's frightening.
And it is. And the ambulance gets there. And of course, they're wanting to know, they may ask questions about, well, is this person have this illness or that illness, and are they on medication? And if they're on medication, what are they on? I need it to bring to the hospital and all this. And heaven forbid, but if you're just there visiting somebody, you can't answer none of that. With this profile, if we can get the people in our area to fill out all their illnesses and fill out all their prescriptions they're on, the responders can actually go in and have that information at their fingertips. There have been reports that we get every once in a while. We get reports from the company. It's called a Smart 911 Save, where someone was actually saved because they went to, say, a bee sting. Well, they got there, the people are passed out, they can't tell you anything, of course. So they actually started looking through the profile and noticed they were allergic to bees. So they were able to take some action on that and was able to help the person.
So there are a lot of positives, pros for joining Smart 11. We're getting ready to go for a break, and when we come back with part 2, we'll continue in the knowledge that we're gaining today on Smart 911. We're going for a break, and we'll be right back.
At shelters, you'll discover healthy and loving animals just waiting to become a part of your family. Why wait? You can make a difference in the life of an animal. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person and adopt your new best friend today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to the PM Talk Show. This is Pat Marsh, your host. We have with us today Mr. Dennis Darouse, who is the director for our 911 system in Tangipahao and in St. Helena parishes. Before we went for a break, Mr. Darouse, we were talking about how the Smart 911 service works. How successful, and it's new to us in Tangipahao Parish, how successful is the program in other parishes that now have it?
We've had one alert from one of the other parishes where they've actually had a save down there from the Smart 911. we've actually had a couple of what we call live or real Smart 911 calls in the parish now. One of them just happened to be that due to the texting feature that we haven't even talked about yet, they were in a situation where the person was scared. They were able to text to our 911 operator, and our people got in touch with the law enforcement agency in that area, and an arrest was made.
Right. So when you mentioned the texting feature, if someone is robbing me and I feel my life is threatened, if I say anything, if I'm hiding but I have my phone, I can just, there's a code or something, or is there a code that I would use to text that information to 911, or how would that go?
Okay, and again, Smart 911, we've only talked about so far the putting the prescriptions. Right. You can put all the people that live in your household picture in there. You can put a picture of your house in there, so that even like the responders can know which house they're looking for. Your floor plan, you can put in there. Where to cut off your gas and your electricity, like things that the firefighters will need to know. Not only that, say if you have a child or an elderly parent that have a cell phone and it's listed, and they say go out in the woods to play, or the elderly person just wanders off, you know, and you can't find them, you call 911 and tell us the problem. We can actually go and ping that person's cell phone and tell you an approximate location of where they're at. So not only that, we have a section in there about pets. So if you go on ours, of course, I mean, we have a picture of a rattlesnake, but you may have guard dogs, you may have things such as that. The responders will know. Your vehicle information, you can put in the make, model, color, license number, and again, if somebody from Tangipahao Parish, say, goes to Arkansas, gets in a wreck, you're unconscious, but you're able to still dial 911 but not speak, your Smart 911 profile will come up in Arkansas, and now they know what car to look for. Okay. Not only that, it also has a GPS device as long as you have your phone turned on, because a lot of people have a tendency to turn their GPS off. But if you have your GPS turned on your phone, they can even track where you're at and give us a better location than through our normal 911 system. Now again, I still won't say 100%, all right? But it's better than we have through our normal system. So it's a lot of information that comes through that can be obtained once the people go in and start seeing how to fill out a profile. It's just like I mentioned before we started, Pat. I mean, I got 30 plus, 40 plus years of emergency service. Every time I try to think of a new question to ask myself on Smart 911, it's been answered on there.
Okay, so there's a website, it's called smart11.com, that you can go to get a lot more information, is that correct?
www.smart911.com. And when you go there, just hit the button that says sign up, and it'll begin asking questions, your name, your address, your work address, and things such as that. Okay.
What about a website for 911 in Tangipahao Parish? How can I access that?
We have a website. It's Tangipahao911.org. And you can go on there, and it tells you about Tangipahao Parish 911. It shows you a little bit of our facility. We have a little bit of news pages on there. And we also have a contact page on there where if you want to leave a message or contact us, then you fill that out and it'll come to us.
Okay, as the director for 911 and of course Smart 911, what are your aspirations for seeing this information get out to more people? What types of things do you plan on doing?
Well, right now we're here with you this morning. We're doing other interviews, be it radio, TV, the print media, word of mouth. We're trying to get in touch with any and all civic groups, church organizations, Lions clubs, Kiwanis, Rotary, any organization, any large business that has safety meetings, we ask them to call us, and we'll be happy to come. We're going to try to reach out to the Voluntary Council on Aging and go to their senior citizens. Ms. Fleming's worked great with us in the past. And what we'd like to do is go out and tell the people. Now, in church groups, I'm not talking about getting up there and expecting me to preach a sermon now. Okay, we're not going to go quite that far. Matter of fact, we better pass out the helmets when I walk in, all right? But what we'd like to do is if there's a ladies group within that church, or a gentleman's group, or a choir, you know, just something where we can get some people together. We send our people out. Our telecommunicators are our best source. Our best part of our center is our people. And we'll send them out and meet with them, explain what's going on. We have laptops and tablets and even a MiFi device to where we can go out and assist the people in signing up if they need it. Or if they don't have a computer at their house, they can sign up with us there. Again, they'll do all the signing up. If they need help, our people are more than happy to help them. But we're just trying to get in touch with everybody we can, every group. And like I said, we would love to see a 100% coverage, because all we're asking the people is to help us help you.
Have you thought about doing something in the public schools, at the university, and on a VOTEC college level? Because a lot of kids come to school and they have conditions as well.
Right. And again now, if the people, say if I had a child going to school and had some type of condition, and if it was in the protocol, you see, it could still be picked up, you know, through a phone call to 911 from the child's cell phone. You know, nowadays, Pat, we kind of joke somewhat that when a baby leaves a hospital, there's three things they have: their birth certificate, the Social Security card, and now their cell phone. Right. So, you know, it's that type of environment now. So right. We're just trying to get all the information at our responders' fingertips for the people.
Yeah, and I think this would be something good to present to our board, as well as to Dr. Crane, Dr. Yates, to see how that process would work in the school system, and selling them with the idea, the board members with the idea, and then it's passed on to the principals. Wow. To give to the kids and their assemblies and what have you. But sometimes you have to make time for some things that are very important, and certainly this is important.
Well, and to me, it's extremely important. Right. And again, the PTAs and Mr. Callaway and the principals, you know, is on our list. But right at the beginning of school, yeah. I'm sure they're pretty well bombarded right now. Yeah. But what we'd like to do, we're trying to reach out to the chambers of commerce and the business and the fraternal type organizations, and because they're easier to roll us into their schedule and have us attend.
We want to help you roll it into the schools, because you know, 911 gets calls from the schools as well.
Oh yes, ma'am.
So that would need.
And I got to say now, let me say this now, and I'm having a senior moment right now. Okay. But the gentleman at name is Robert at the school board, who's in charge. Mm-hmm.
Robert Morgan.
Robert Morgan. There you go. Thank you for helping a senior citizen out. I will say this, that Robert does an excellent job of making, he has actually come to our center a couple of times and had every school in the parish dial 911 so that he sees that the correct address at school is coming up on their system. So I will say the school board has done a great job of making sure 911 calls get from the right school to us.
Yeah, and that's very important, because you know, kids with diabetes, heart problems, a plethora of things could go wrong, and right. Certainly the goal is to get the help there as expeditiously as you can.
Correct.
When you look at what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it, I think the route that you're going now with getting it out to as many as is possible, as you said, is very, very important, because sometimes it only takes a short time to save a life. We're coming to the end of our interview for today, and we want to thank you for coming, but we want you to look into the camera and give the viewing audience your best sale pitch for why they should get Smart 911.
The best sales pitch I can give the people on why to do the Smart 911 would be, if you love your family, if you hope that all bad times get better for your family, to please fill out this information. Again, 911 a lot of times is not thought about until it's needed. But if you love your spouse, if you love your grandparents, you love your parents, you love your children, even though sometimes we know that's hard, please sign up for Smart 911. Please fill out all the information that's asked. Please don't try to think of any big brother type aspect, because everything on there is made to help you and all of your loved ones, and to hopefully make a bad time better.
Well, Mr. Darouse, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we continue to say that knowledge is powerful. It does matter. We expect that you will get a great outpouring of support from the interview today, and we want to encourage everybody to, if no more than go to smart911.com to see for yourself the information and read a little bit more about it. We continue to say that knowledge is powerful, it does matter. Thank you for continuing to join us. This is Pat Morris, your host, saying have a great and a blessed week. Thank you, and God bless.